out with me. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. I'm here on YouTube to do your weekly energy report for Taurus. So let's take a look and see what's going on for you guys for the week of April 3rd. Those of you on Facebook, welcome. Come join me on YouTube. I do a lot of lives on there regarding all your zodiac signs. I also do some pop-up podcasts with some of my girls, Holly Hope, Tiffany Hollis, and Moxie Munford. That's my little lady bunch. So we always say lady bunch because when we all get on Zoom, there's the four of us. We want to sing lady bunch. So hi J-Lo, what's going on? All right, so let's take a look and see what's going on for Taurus, and welcome. I will do a Q&A live right after this, quite possibly for those of you that are on here that want to ask some questions and do some tarot readings. Since we're all stuck in the house, I figured I better get to work. I've been slacking. Do you miss me? Slacking. All right, Karma on Deck. Here we go. So the first thing that comes up, and you guys are going to see a lot of congruencies within these readings because the energy is global with some of these cards. Like, for example, the Hermit card keeps popping up, and I, in general, just kind of like skip that right over because all of us are kind of hermited right now. So the first thing that comes up is Six of Coins. So right now, Taurus is like, where the hell is this money going to come from? How am I going to make this happen? Seven of Swords, that also showed up for Aries, and that's things getting a little easier. For some of you, you're going to be working extra hard this week or feel a little busy. Taurus's energy this week is all about the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is a conflict, okay? And not exactly a fight, but if you notice in this card, the Five of Swords has one sword down the middle that means decision, and then two opposing swords on either side. And what that means is crossed swords. That's your square in astrology. That's you like putting your boundaries up soon. And when I talk about the Five of Swords, this isn't my... in this deck, it means a fight. It literally means going at it. It literally means saying what you have to say and taking that stand. Moxie always says, is this the hill you want to stand on? Is this the hill you want to die on, right? But what's true is when you have the Five of Swords, this is you making sure that you set your boundaries early so that you don't have to revisit the topic. And so when you do that, you do yourself a favor. You do yourself the blessing of saying like, no, this is the thing. This is the line. This is where it stands. And so the Five of Swords is making those boundaries for yourself. Ten of Coins, decision-making time. The Chariot card, and this showed up in Aries as well. And what's interesting about that, and like I said, two consecutive signs will often have a little balance or a little bit of a takeaway from a little slice of pie from the reading before, for those of you that are on the cusp. But Four of Coins, Taurus is deeply worried about money. We're very practical and very stubborn, and we want to make sure we have our needs met, but we have the Four of Coins that's looking for money. We also have the Chariot card, and the Chariot card references you like really trying to keep things in line, really making sure that you pay attention to the small details. I mean, it feels like you're having a really hard time balancing different elements and making sure that nothing loses its the small details, making sure we're not losing our grip on things. We do have the Tower card. Our foundation has really been shaken, and Taurus is feeling as if, you know, there is a lot of energy that's falling apart. Okay, hi Kim. So you have the Ace of Cups. So there is definitely a lot of standing on your own 2 feet with this. We do have the Tower card. Now remember, when I talk about the Tower card, here's the thing. The Tower card always talks about you having your foundation shaking. So think of it this way. If you have your house shaking, you really learn where your strongholds are. You really start to learn what is underneath the foundation. You're starting to pay attention to how and where your strengths lie, okay? How you're behaving strongly, who is behaving strongly, what is a stronghold. And so as it's shaking, don't look at it as a bad thing because it's shaking regardless. You have an earthquake and you have no choice on whether these walls fall or not. However, sweeping away the debris gives you an opportunity to look at your foundation and see what you can really stand on. And as I was talking to Aries earlier, you'll notice I was saying, hey, you know, this is a good time for you to start, you know, paying attention to where our addictions lie. And like I was saying earlier, it's all about our dependency on anything: alcohol, fast food, attention, internet, social media, like where our foundations are. I do see Taurus really deeply looking at their opportunities now too, and taking a strong look at crossroads. You're at a crossroads right now. You're definitely starting to look and see like what is possible for you. So this is your Fool card, okay? And the Fool is all about seeing what's possible, where things are going. And then there's the Tower card, okay? So the Tower is falling apart. Like, no shit. Shit show central. And then you have the Ten of Swords. So we're definitely looking at where our commitments lie and where we're giving our energy, and we're scaling back on all of those things now, okay? So let's take a look and see emotionally where you stand. We do have the Devil card in the mix too. So the Devil card might be some of you that are paying attention to where your alcohol, eating, fast food, and your addictions lie, because alcohol usually has to do, or the Devil card usually has to do with addictions, lies, or arguing. So some of you are in the piss pot, so to speak, and arguing with people. And some of you are really noticing who's lying to you, who's not telling the truth, who's honest, who's playing with your emotions and not telling you the truth. I'm getting the impression that Taurus is feeling like they're not being told the truth on a lot of fronts, and you're starting to set your boundaries with that, okay? I'm also seeing the Temperance card. The Temperance card is all about spirituality. It's the give and take. If you notice here, they're looking in a mirror, okay? They're looking in a mirror, and they're learning where spirit and energy is having the give and take, okay? And that's all about seeing, you know, if you're pulling your weight, if you're doing your due diligence when it comes to spirituality and balance. So you're finding that little surfing spot. Let me see here. I am definitely seeing that Taurus is playing with their money right now. You are just absolutely looking for new ways to bring money into your household. The Eight of Cups, the Eight of Coins is definitely wanting to play with new projects and keeping an eye on all of that. Let's pull some cards for you from my Mystic Dreamer. That's for the moon reading. And for those of you that are not into astrology, your general spread is your sun sign, okay? So that's your Dragon Tarot, and then your moon sign is how you think and how you feel. For those of you that are Taurus moon, let's take a look and see how you're thinking and feeling. This still applies to most Tauruses in general. Thank you for hanging out with me on Facebook. Those of you that are out there, come to my YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, hang out. You're going to love it. I promise. There's always fun stuff going on over there. Like I said, for those of you that are watching the Taurus video live on YouTube, I am going to be posting some paint pours tonight. I'm going to be getting on here, and I don't know if I'm going to do paint pour or baking bread, but there's going to be something tonight. And for those of you on Facebook that want to hang out with me and watch a movie, I'm going to be putting one up on Zoom, sharing the link, and having you guys come and watch a movie with me, and we'll call each other on video chat and talk shit and play. So if you guys want to do that, I thought it would be fun to socialize and do that. So here we go for Taurus moon reading. So fate, Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Wands, fear, the moon card. So we do have the Ten of Swords, which is interesting because that came up for my Aries reading. And what's interesting about that, like I said, that's your cusp. So I do see that Taurus is definitely looking at the finer details. We have the Hermit card. Like I said, that was going to show up. I knew it would. So the Hermit card is sometimes about isolation, and oftentimes it's about thinking for yourself. The Hermit card is all about like collecting and gathering evidence, pulling data, making sure that we are getting all of our ducks in a row, making sure that we don't make any moves without having enough data, information, etc. I do see the Hierophant though. Taurus is extremely stubborn right now. If you notice here, this is my arrogance, stubborn, and cockiness. That's for you guys. So apparently Taurus is too stubborn to ask for help right now. I definitely see that you have the Five of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, and then you have the Charity card, which is the Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is charity. Taurus, you'd rather wither and die than ask for help right now. Don't be too stubborn. And I see you wanting things desperately to go back to the way they used to be. And the Five or Six of Pentacles is telling me that it's time. Like there's something that are coming forward for you that is harvest. So Taurus is walking around with swords in their back, fighting with people, being a little bitchy, and being a little bit stubborn. So you definitely don't want to ask for help. You don't want to tell anybody what's going on with you. And you're definitely gathering evidence. So I know some Tauruses out there, Sally, who has a tendency to pick things apart within an nth of degree, right? Within an inch of its life. So as you pick things apart in detail, you're stressing yourself out a little bit. Taurus is definitely not going to ask for help at this point. Definitely lashing out at others and being stubborn. So Queen of Wands, you want to stand on your own. Maybe this isn't the best time to be in that mentality. However, this is your go-to place. This is how you would rather be the giver than be the one that's taking at this time. So you're having a difficult time with receiving charity or receiving help. You always want to be the one to be the helper. You don't want to be going out asking for help. So right now, though, Taurus is being asked to be in the public eye. So Taurus is being asked to speak their piece. The Magician is showing up, and usually that means it's go time. So for those of you that are hiding in the shadows and not speaking your piece, this is definitely the time for you to do that. If you're in a pinch, don't be afraid to do so. I also see the Ace of Cups, and I'm seeing the Three of Wands. Three of Wands in relationships right now is you watching and waiting for others to make the first move, or you're putting someone on a pedestal and just going, let me see what you're about to do. So Taurus, stubborn as usual. Things are not going to go back to the way they were. So the sooner you learn to shift, right, the sooner you learn to move. And what do? When a wave comes, we dive deep and let it flow over us, right? So if you have to isolate for a little bit, and I'm talking about keep that mouth to yourself, because Taurus has a tendency to be snappy when they're irritated. Know it all. Sorry, it is. It's a thing, okay? It's a know-it-all. So for those of you that are in that stage, don't be so stubborn. Be a little bit more flexible if you can be. Start to be a little more charitable if you're not having to take on someone else's energy. Don't be so stubborn. Just let it go. And let's see. So you have the Moon card. So secretly, the Taurus right now is deeply afraid. And so what do we do when we're frustrated and afraid? We lash out so that we keep people at a distance. And that's useful. That's useful because if we're not doing okay, we don't want to shit on someone else's parade. We don't want to be crappy to someone else. So sometimes we isolate in that effect. And I'm not talking about isolation in person. I'm talking about isolation by pushing people away. So Taurus, right now, be cautious that you're not playing the Five of Swords card and having little mini fights with people so that you can keep a distance, okay? Make sure that you're keeping things open. I am seeing the Four of Wands, so some of you are really looking at your commitments right now and starting to look at where you are committed. And you're leaning heavily on that. So let me pull a card from your Divination of the Ancients and take a look and see what Oracle has to say for you. I am going to shuffle these really quick because I'm going to jump right back on here and do our weekly reading for Gemini. So for those of you that are Gemini, Moxie, Batman, he's a Gemini moon as well. So for those of you that are Gemini, if you want to hang out with me, I am going to flip off of this and go to Gemini shortly after I do the Divination of the Ancients card. Thank you for sharing my video. I appreciate it, Christopher. If you want to book your one-on-one, when you want to do that, karmaondeck.com. I'm still doing business and staying pretty busy. So let's see what Taurus, has for your Divination of the Ancients. Here we go. Runes, perception. Oh, isn't that one for you guys right now? So let's see what runes have to say. Runes. So runes have to do with perception, okay? So remember, perception is projection. So how you're perceiving things to be is definitely how you're projecting them. So it's important to see things a little differently right now. No shit. Imagine yourself in the place of those who appear to be confronting you. Didn't we just talk about conflict? And there we are. So this is all about your perception, Scorpio. Sorry. June's saying she's a Scorpio. So for those of you Taurus, imagine yourself in the place of those who appear to be confronting you, your words or your actions. Perhaps rather than taking this as a sign of their displeasure or dislike or what you're doing, see their words as an opportunity to improve the situation by being more open-minded. Perhaps their actions will actually provide you with an even stronger, more robust idea about how to proceed. The runes are a reminder that in one single toss, you can choose a very different outcome. Those that seem to be your enemies can often deliver the most useful lessons in life. Your incantation for the week, or the thing to remember, is how I perceived caused me to fall, and so the writing is on the wall. Lessons in all I shall embrace, and see the good in all I face. Don't be so quick to judge, Taurus. But I do love you. Thanks, guys, and catch me on the flip side because I'm about to do Gemini. Love you guys.